Hi, everybody. It is episode 566 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. I am Chris. With me is Droo
Hello.
and Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here. Barely, but I'm here.
That's good. Glad you made it.
I'm trying. It's been a long week.
It has been. I agree.
So, yeah. Work is just incredibly frustrating.
Oh, no, it's just been a long week for other reasons for me. My job is fine.
Yeah, I get it.
We sold our house.
Nice.
Well, almost. It's like under contract.
Yeah. I mean, it could still fall through, unfortunately. But it would be the buyer, if it falls through because of the buyer, they would have to pay money to cancel the contract. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At this point, knock on wood, unless the inspection comes back with oh, your foundation is about to collapse into a sinkhole, I think we're probably good.
Yeah.
All right. Enough small talk. Rich, what's on the agenda?
On the agenda, these guys went to a concert, or at least Drew went to a concert called the Warped Tour. Then we all should have watched Fargo. And then I spent Father's Day with my family. We went to the Edelman Fossil Museum. And then Cobb, you played Wind Waker. And then there was a switch to Donkey Kong Direct that happened today that really only Cobb watched, but I've seen some things from it. I just haven't watched it.
It's true. Yeah, Drew, so how was Warped Tour?
It was a lot of fun.
You the first you don't have much of a voice still.
No, yeah, it's still a little. It's a combination of being worn out, and I feel like I maybe got a tiny bit sick because it rained like crazy the last 3 hours of day 2. So I'm a little stuffy, but could be worse. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Day 1 was the authentic Warped Tour experience of it being 85 degrees, but feeling like it was 95.
You're in a big parking lot?
And yeah, being in the parking lot and just sweating constantly. They did at least have a good amount of water stations and whatnot, so that was good. But
nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't even remember everyone I saw. There were so many bands, and I guess I can pull up the pictures of the inflatable that will remind me, because they did go back to that.
Lot of bands.
They did not announce set times until day of. So let's see. Day 1, I saw Origami Angel, and these are the bands I was specifically at the stage to see. So, other bands were playing at the same time, but maybe wasn't necessarily watching. But so Origami Angel, and then Aquabats, then Streetlight Manifesto, State Champs, Ice Nine Kills, Cartel, and MGK, and Magnolia Park.
Nice.
Missed out on seeing Census Fail and 303.
Were they just playing at the same time as other bands?
303 was playing at the exact same time as Ice Nine Kills. And I guess we were kind of there mostly for the Sublime set, but at that point we also were kind of let's go eat and just kind of wander around the merch booths and whatnot.
Who was the headliner on Saturday?
MGK. Well, so how they had it set up was they had the main 2 stages, which were the left foot and right foot vans. Then they had the sponsor stages that were the slightly smaller but still big stages. Those were Ghost and Beatbox. And then they had 2 side stages, and then an acoustic stage, and then there was an even really small stage kind of just in a merch booth that some bands were playing.
Oh wow.
But yeah. So I guess the very last bands playing were MGK, We Came as Romans, and Magnolia Park. MGK on the main stage, We Came as Romans on the mid stage, and Magnolia Park on the small side stage area on night 1.
Okay.
And then we lucked out. We thought we were going to be completely screwed with the amount of bands we still wanted to absolutely positively see on day 2, and just thought they were going to be kind of more packed together. But so day 2, we were at the main stages for the first 3 hours. We were there for we weren't 100% paying attention for them, but this band Girlfriends opened the main stage. Actually, I guess they were second.
Okay, I've heard that name before. I don't know if I've actually listened to them though.
They were pretty good. They're they are very pop punk. Like
okay.
And then it was Knuckle Puck, We the Kings, The Wonder Years, Motion City Soundtrack, and Hawthorne Heights.
Okay.
They were all great. Someone friggin' got dropped. I don't know. A crowd surfer got dropped either by security or, got like thrown and not caught by security. So, I don't think it was security's fault that this crowd surfer fell and smashed their head. During Wonder Years set, that almost cost them the last two songs.
Yeah, I watched the Sunday stream for basically the whole stream and like saw that during the Wonder Years set, but because they were pre-recording them before airing them,
there's a nice
happened, but like they definitely like made some cuts.
Oh, it's like 5 minutes that gets cut.
Is it okay? It was that much?
Yeah,
because like you see him like split the crowd so that there's like a path, but then you never see anybody like get taken out.
Well, so they didn't wind up taking them through the crowd anyway, but there is a hard cut like from where, because we went back and watched when we got to the hotel to kind of see if we could see what happened, but the way the feed was on, like, I'm pretty sure it's on a close-up of Dan as it happens, so like you don't see the crowd at all. So it cuts from him, telling crowd surfers to get down, and then kind of cut to him calling for people to spread out. Like if you go back and watch it again, it's a harsh cut happens there, and that even was like like I said, 2 to 3, maybe even up to 5 minutes between like him telling everyone to stopping the set, and then telling people to clear a path because they had medics coming from different sides, who knows where, and it took a while.
Okay. Yeah, on the recording it was like 2 minutes, and then they were back to playing.
Yeah, it was definitely longer than 2 minutes. But then forget who was after them on the other stage. Motion City Soundtrack, then Hawthorne Heights. We caught a drumstick from Hawthorne Heights.
Nice.
Then we went over to the side stages where Cliff Diver and then Sweet Pill played back to back. Then we went over to Bowling for Soup, then went back to catch the very end of Pennywise, and then Simple Plan and Avril Lavigne.
Nice. Yeah, they did not stream Avril.
Really?
Yeah, so apparently during the streams, like between bands, they'd have like these like 5-minute like interview segments.
Uh-huh.
And I swear somebody on one of those interview segments that her people didn't want her set streamed.
Interesting.
So it might have been like a record label thing.
Yeah, I guess.
But what they ended up doing was Pennywise wasn't on that schedule. After airing Simple Plan, they then aired Pennywise from like 9:30 to like 10:30 or something like that.
Okay.
So like it was pretty funny. Like it was dark and raining when Simple Plan finished, and then all of a sudden like Pennywise is on and it's not raining anymore, and it's like 6:30 in the evening.
Weird.
Yeah. But it was cool that they did that, because like Pennywise was one of the bands that I thought would be cool to see. Because they did have like a very weird like they were only showing two of the stages. I think. Yeah. I think it was just 2 stages, and it was like mostly the big bands. But there were a couple instances where like, what was it, like Bowling for Soup and 4 Year Strong were playing at the same time on the 2 different channels. So it was like, which one do I want to see more?
Gotcha.
We ended up watching Bowling for Soup.
Their set was very fun.
They usually are. Like those guys are just fun on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And like they didn't change, like they didn't really change how they play for being like obviously a shorter set at like a big festival. Like they kind of did all their same like antics.
Yes, although a thing that we noticed when we were there, they seem to have been playing the songs faster than normal.
So a lot of bands do that. Like they play them faster live for some reason.
Yeah. So I don't know if maybe I just never noticed that Bowling for Soup plays faster live.
Yeah. Jersey Calling does that a lot too. Theirs is unintentional though. I feel like Bowling for Soup might do it on purpose so that they can like
get a couple more in, and
yeah, because like their songs are short enough. If they play each of them like a little bit faster, like it gives them like another like 2 minutes of time where they can have like their banter and like goofiness without also having to cut their sets short.
Yeah. Although speaking of banter and cutting sets short, I mean, they didn't get their set cut, or like they didn't get like cut off or whatever, but I swear JT from Hawthorne Heights talked for at least 6 minutes during his set, and it's like you could have played 2 more songs
every time. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
He talks so much, and he's so like encouraging, and like it's not like he's like ranting or anything like that. Like every time he gives like his little speeches, they're very similar, but they're always very like kind of like heartfelt and like encouraging and optimistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it is. It's like it's pushing 10 minutes.
But yeah, overall it was, I'd say, pretty well run. Like there weren't really too many issues. I guess the biggest issue was they covered over like all the grassy areas with like these plastic kind of like interlocking walkway things. Like they were sort of like what they put down at Adjacent Fest.
Oh, so like people weren't walking in the grass directly, they were walking on these like big plastic squares essentially.
Yeah, although I feel like Adjacent was like bigger ones. These were smaller and they had holes in them. So sometimes on some spots, the way it all was with the rain that happened on Friday and then a lot more rain that happened Sunday late, if you stepped on the wrong spot, or sometimes it just wound up flooding all the way through, like you would squirt mud up through these holes like all over your shoes and legs.
Oh, that sucks.
And it was gross, and it was real bad.
Because otherwise it was just in like the parking lots, right?
Yeah.
Of like RFK Stadium or something like that. I think it's actually called like the RFK Fairgrounds, right?
Yeah. It's like behind the stadium, I guess, or whatever, you know. There's the stadium's there, then these definitely used to be parking lots for the stadium, I'd assume. And then, I mean, that stadium has been closed for a decade or whatever, so they just use
I didn't realize it was closed.
Oh, yeah. RFK is the football team moved out forever ago, and I forget when DC United got their own stadium, but whenever that happened, and like it's been a while, but yeah, that stadium is falling apart. Like you can see through it in some spots, and it's like, was that like that always, or did some shit fall apart that we didn't know before, and you can like see through this crack here or whatever? And it was like, yeah. I mean, they used to be proud of how that thing would shake in the sound, and it's like, was that a feature or a bug? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, some of the bands were like pointing it out, and like not in like a happy way, more in like a like calling it shit way. But I didn't realize it was not an active stadium.
Yeah, no. Yeah, people, if they tried to put 60,000 people or whatever that stadium used to hold, I'd imagine 60 to 70,000 people would die as the thing would fall apart on top of them. Like that's the condition it seems to be in.
So are you going to try and get tickets for Warp next year?
I don't know. They just sent out the thing that pre-sale starts tomorrow or Friday.
Actually, I think it might have been tomorrow. I think tomorrow was the pre-sale, and general might be Monday or Friday.
I forget. I don't know.
$150, I think, was the price for 2-day,
which isn't bad.
Yeah, is that? Did you just have regular 2-day, or did you do like VIP or anything like that?
The VIP seemed like shit. Like it seemed totally not worth it.
That seems accurate.
Like the viewing areas that were like not better at all. In fact, they might have been worse. Like it wasn't like Adjacent, where it kind of had that like extra, that area that got all the way up to the stage, and
Adjacent
cut in.
Yeah, Adjacent's VIP was worth it because you got it wasn't half of the GA, but it was like a pretty big section of GA that you could be right up at the front of the stage. And then you had like the elevated like I forget what they called it, but like the platform that was covered and had like the bars and everything and like seats. that you could also go in if you didn't want to be on the beach. And like generally, like you had a pretty good line of sight from up there too.
Mm-hmm.
But
like I didn't see into what like the one like main VIP area looked like, but it just looked like, oh, here's separate food booths that have the same overpriced food, but and then like their areas were all the way off to the side of the stage, and like it was GA up to the stage, like the entire width of the stage, basically.
Yeah, and like seeing the shots of the crowd, like that was a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like holy shit, a lot of people.
I think I saw 40,000 was the attendance.
Jesus,
so.
I mean, good for them. I wonder how like Florida and California are going to look. I'm also curious if they'll stream those too.
I'd imagine they will be, and I know the California's sold out, so I'd imagine similar.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, I hope they do stream it because it was actually cool watching those. Like the way that they're doing that now, where like some of these like concerts are just getting streamed on TV. Like it's actually kind of cool. Like if you can't make it for one reason, like being able to just sit there and like see it happen anyway. Especially for this one that like it costs nothing extra. Like if you had Prime, I think it was also on Twitch. Like you could just watch. Though, did you catch Red Jumpsuit Apparatus?
I did not.
Did you hear what happened?
No.
What is can either of you name more than one song from them?
No.
Can you name one song from them?
Face Down?
Yes. So guess what song they opened with?
That.
Guess what song they closed with?
That.
Yes.
Hey, guess who else also did some shit like that?
Who?
Boys Like Girls.
The Great Escape for both?
So they had a 6 songs or 8 song set. They played 5 songs. or sorry, no, 6 songs. They repeated 2 songs.
Like why?
Because they suck. Don't ever go see Boys Like Girls live. They're actually bad live.
So we actually we did. We went to see them last year when they played with I want to say it was like State Champs, the Somerset, and Lolo.
Okay.
And we left after the State Champs because we were actually just there to see State Champs.
Well, yeah. So I saw them when they played with Dashboard, and
okay,
yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, no, I mean like Simple Plan, I think had the singer out, right? Does that sound right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So someone's updated the set list on Setlist FM. I feel like this is way too many songs for them to have played, but they still did play. They started with Love Drunk. They played The Great Escape. They started playing The Great Escape. Brought out this Brendan Abernathy dude who's like TikTok vaguely famous to cover his song, and then went back into The Great Escape and Love Drunk.
Jesus.
Like, y'all repeated 2 songs? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I only know because like I heard somebody say that Red Jumpsuit Apparatus did that. And then they posted their set to their YouTube. So I went and like checked the beginning and the end, and I'm like, well, fuck, they really did play the same song twice. Like, and like, I don't know if it was because it was like outside and like the recording and all, but they did not sound good either.
Yeah, I don't necessarily doubt it, but I don't know. You know. Oh, also, funny thing that happened that day, the second day, 3 different bands played Mr. Brightside.
That's actually really funny because I know We the Kings did,
and then All Time Low did.
Oh, somebody else that I saw did.
All Time Low played the first day. Who the fuck was the band that played before? Or Simple Plan did.
Oh, right. That's the other one. Yeah. So I'm just like, no, you're right. I remember now. We saw it twice, and I laughed because I only caught the end of We the Kings, and like I have by some set of circumstances seen them like 3 times live. And like for only having one song, I know they actually put on a pretty good show.
Yeah.
But they kind of talk like he says kind of the same stuff about like Check Yes Juliet every time. And he was kind of saying that, and then they started playing Mr. Brightside, and I'm like, oh, that was a nice little swerve. And then they played Check Yes Juliet. So.
Okay, so when the first version of the Boys Like Girls setlist that I saw had them also playing Mr. Brightside. The updated on Setlist FM doesn't have it, so I don't know. I don't know if their set got streamed or not, and that's how this got updated. But
I did not. I don't think it was on the list. Potentially
3 bands played it the same day. I don't know
for
sure
though.
but definitely 2 did. I remember hearing We the Kings play, and then Simple Plan did their like they didn't do the full thing, but they do that little like cover medley, and it was in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We actually ended up after watching Simple Plan set, we then ended up buying tickets to see Simple Plan in August.
Nice.
Because they're playing with Bowling for Soup, Lolo, and 303.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, like I know one maybe 2 303 songs, but like I like the other 3, so like I'm not going to complain about having like half hour, 45 minutes to like go get something to drink at the Skyline stage.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will probably wander away during 303.
Yeah.
But glad you had a good time at Warped Tour, because like, yeah, you're right. It was very hot on Saturday and very rainy on Sunday. And
the other bummer was the like all the Warped Tour merch sold out.
Oh, that does suck.
Like, we didn't want to get merch before Sunday, really. I guess we could have gotten it Saturday, but
like on your way out, basically.
Yeah, we're like, we'll just get it Sunday. Hopefully, we'll have some time in there to go get it. I know, whatever. It was after Sweet Pill before, so we had like an hour between Sweet Pill and Bowling for Soup, and we were like, okay, we'll go look for merch. We wanted to go to the Wonder Years, which they left real fast. I don't know why. Although I saw late the next day, their tour manager, the guy who died in that plane crash like a month or so ago.
Yeah, Dave Shapiro.
Yeah, Dan had the funeral was the next day.
Oh, okay.
So he posted a thing from the funeral. So I'm like, okay, maybe like
they'd like get to an airport or something.
Yeah.
Plus, aren't they? They're on tour right now, aren't they?
I think it just ended.
Okay, because I know there were a few bands that like I know Honey Revenge played, and they're like actively on tour. So they did their Warped Tour set, and then the next night played their DC like venue.
Less Than Jake.
Oh yeah, they are also on tour. They were in Philly. What, Friday? Last Friday?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're in North Jersey this Friday.
Yep. But yeah. So we went. They were gone, and then we went to the Warped Tour booth, and like all that was left was like the $100 like motocross jersey, which was like, yeah, no thanks.
yeah, that doesn't seem worth it. But did you guys stay down there, or did you drive back and forth?
Oh no, we stayed down there. We did. We took the train down.
Oh, that is also the right move.
Yeah, because I didn't even think about it when we were talking about it and planning it, and like I was like, we'll take the train down. Parking at the hotel we had would have cost the same as the train ticket.
Holy shit!
Well, the 2 train tickets. Parking would have been $50 a night for 3 nights. The train was $150 for 2 tickets round trip.
Oh, so did you go down Friday and like you were just there to get there early on Saturday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was smart.
Yep. I mean, we didn't get down to our train to DC was at like we left at 6, so we got there a little bit after 8. After like because the train was a little delayed leaving. It was only like a 2-hour train ride. Yeah, Amtrak.
Yeah, I've taken that for work a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, what station did you go to? Union Station or one of the other ones in the area?
Union, because our hotel was. I mean, it wound up pouring rain when we got there on Friday, so we wound up eventually taking like a $4 Uber instead of the 10-minute walk, because that's just like how heavy it was raining. But our hotel was only a 10-minute walk away from the train station.
Okay, and how far away was the place then?
A couple miles, but not that far.
Oh, so it's still like a fairly reasonable Uber.
Yes and no.
Oh, surge pricing got you?
Oh god. Well, yeah, we took the bus down the first day. We wound up taking an Uber down the second day because we were able to get an Uber there for like $10. But the Ubers back were 50 or 60 because everyone was trying to Uber back. But we could also take the bus like to the corner of the block our hotel was on for $2. So we did that.
Well, that's actually not bad.
Yeah, no, $2 is way better than 60. Like I was not paying $50 or $60 for an Uber.
Yeah, like if it gets to that point,
if it hadn't been raining or whatever, I'd have been like, we're gonna walk. It's only like 2 miles or something.
Yeah, like if it's, I will pay for that Uber if it's like something like incredibly inconvenient to get somewhere otherwise.
Yeah.
Like if it's like raining and like it's going to take just as long to get to like a train or something, I'll be like, you know what, fuck it. Like I'd rather be comfortable and just get a car to where I'm going than deal with like the rain or whatever.
For sure.
But like in that situation, like there were other options. So
yeah.
Nice. Well, anything else about Warped Tour you want to say?
No, I think that's all.
Cool. Well, then we can move into Fargo. How did you guys enjoy Fargo?
It put me to sleep.
I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not feeling the best today, and I didn't have the time to watch it any other time, or / forgot to. So I was kind of dozing off while half watching it while working.
Yeah, I was bored. I didn't think it was really all that funny, and it's labeled a comedy. I'm pretty sure.
It's a Coen Brothers comedy, which isn't really a comedy.
Yeah. I just thought it was boring, and like I don't know. I had zero interest in it.
But it's a 7-time Oscar winner.
This goes into that issue that I talk about of I don't like things about bad people.
But it was bad people getting their comeuppance.
But all of them are fucking bad. Everybody in this movie, besides the wife. No, they're not. I mean, but that's also a drama, and that we went over this. Like the drama about bad people are different because I enjoyed Goodfellas. It's a drama about bad people. This is a comedy about bad people. It's not funny, and I just don't like. Everyone sucks. Dude hires people to kidnap his wife because he needs money for a deal we don't even know why.
Like a real
something about cars. No, it wasn't even. I don't know. It was because he was only asking for $80,000 initially. The initial deal was supposed to be for $80,000, and he was supposed to get 40.
I think maybe he wanted to open his own car dealership or something.
I don't know, but like it made it seem like he did something because throughout the movie, the banker is calling him, being like, "Hey, we need the VIN numbers of these cars," and he keeps putting that off. So he did something with these cars that he needs the money to like pay the bank back. That's what it is. And so to the way I understood it, because he was talking to his father-in-law and was like, "Hey, what about this deal?" And his father-in-law was like, "All right, we'll talk about it." And so he tried to call the kidnappers back to say, "Hey, we don't need the deal anymore because I'm going to get into it." But the kidnappers were already on their way.
Right. And
so then his father-in-law wanted to buy him out of the deal instead of give him the money. But if it was only about $80,000, he would have taken the buyout, because he even straight up said, "Hey, a finder's fee is usually 10%, and the deal is a $750,000 deal. So why not? If you needed $40,000, why not just take the $75,000 you would have gotten from that 10% and walk away with it?" No, it just, none of it made sense to me.
No, none of it did make sense. But also, this movie is a 4-time Academy Award winner. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor for William H. Macy, and Best Actress for Frances McDormand. Oh, and Best Original Screenplay by the Coens. It won 5 Academy Awards.
The Academy, honestly, like, Academy Awards don't mean shit.
It's also a black comedy crime film, which I can understand the black comedy.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense.
It's just nothing clicked with me on this. I was sitting there trying to watch it, and I was falling asleep. I was bored.
Have you ever seen a Coen's brother movie, like, otherwise, that you know of?
Probably not.
Fair. I was just curious.
I don't know. I don't know what other movies they've made. I know the name.
Of course, I'm drawing a blank now. No Country for Old Men, I think, was them, right?
Mm-hmm. Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah, The Big Lebowski, Raising Arizona.
Nope, never seen those.
I just brought up the thing.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
The only movie in this that I'd seen, and this is just based on the initial list that's on Google when you Google it, is I've seen True Grit, the 2010 remake.
Okay. They also, like, their, like, filmography is, like, all over the place. Like, they have, like, a style, but they also don't necessarily make the same movies every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of them, or no, both of them are executive producers on Bad Santa. And I feel like one or both of them was involved in True Lies, like the Schwarzenegger movie. Maybe not. Maybe I made that up. I appear to have made that up. I lied to you guys. I'm sorry.
And then also, on top of that, the whole bullshit about it being based on true events at the very beginning of the movie. and then finding out like, oh, this wasn't actually based on true events.
Yeah, I actually thought that was funny.
I was like, I read that and I was like, okay, it did what they were trying to do. It brought me into it. I was interested. And then like as the movie was wrapping up and she's having her end monologue, I hover over it, and you know how Amazon gives us little tidbits. It was saying like, oh yeah, no, this actually wasn't based on a true movie or true story. They did that to keep people interested, which fucking shows that the movie fucking sucks. If they needed to fabricate interest, it shows that the movie sucks.
I don't think that really fabricated interest, though.
It did, though. It pulled people in because, like, this is based on a true film or a true story. So it's supposed to immerse you and make you more interested, because such a story like this is, you can't make it up kind of a story. Well, you can make it up because you fucking did.
I also don't remember any of the marketing for this being about it being based on a true story.
I don't remember any of the marketing for this at all because I was 2 years younger than you. So
I mean, I remember when this movie came out. I remember it being really popular.
I don't, but
like literally, you were too busy being like 6.
This movie came out in '80. I was 8.
Close enough.
It came out in '96. I was 8. But yeah, I don't remember the anything about the movie coming out, and I just was like, the scene with fucking the 2 guys having sex. I was like, why? Why did we need this? I don't know. There was just like the incredibly Midwesternness of the movie was really its only saving grace to me. I found it incredibly hilarious.
I loved all the accents,
and not necessarily just the accents, but like there was the scene where the guy was telling the officer the story that he heard about Steve Buscemi at like looking for a hooker at the bar or something like that, and he was telling that whole story. I'm like, that is incredibly Midwestern. Like, this is like they're just like, the cop is there to do an investigation, but they're just having a chit chat and just telling a story. And I was like, this is kind of saving the movie for me, but it really didn't help me at all. I thought it was a bad movie. I was bored. It made no sense to me. Like maybe if it the whole time I'm just like, why the fuck does he need all this money for? Why the hell does he need $40,000? What did he do? And we don't get that. We don't get told why he needed $40,000. No, because that's what the original deal was.
So I'm actually I'm reading the Wikipedia. He thinks he secured a $750,000 loan for a lucrative real estate deal. I'm pretty sure the $40,000 he needed was to pay off whatever thing he did. Hang on. Oh, and he stole a car to give to these 2 guys too.
Yeah, he stole a car from his shop. Yeah, like that was obvious.
I forgot about that until just now as I was reading the thing.
Desperate for money, he plans to have his wife Jean kidnapped, and it doesn't explain why he's desperate for money.
Yeah, to be very beginning, he says he's in a little bit of trouble, and he says that's his business. But then he almost had that $750,000 deal that would have, I guess, covered whatever shit he got into. Well, it's because
he was... But, like, what was he into? Because initially he only needed $40,000.
And that's the thing. So I don't think that $750 had nothing to do with whatever he was trying to pay off. That was just like
exactly that was something like that was something that like was turning into, oh, he's going to come into money.
Yeah.
It had none of the movie had anything to do with that except the fact that he was trying to turn around on the idea that, oh, I don't need to have my wife kidnapped anymore because now I'm going to get this $750,000. So maybe the whole thing was he was trying to come up with a down payment for a loan to get this lot or whatever, or who knows. But if he only needed $40,000 and his father-in-law offers him $75,000, fucking take it. Because then you have all of that, and on top of that, the people are still coming to kidnap your fucking wife. Boom.
Well, he had no way to stop him either.
Yeah, but like, why didn't he just fucking take the $75,000? Let his father-in-law do whatever they were gonna do on that lot. It just all really didn't make sense to me, and it really just was. It was too all over the place, and it was just too nonsensical, and too just like the only redeemable character was the police officer and the wife who got kidnapped because. Well,
she was kidnapped the whole time. And
she was kidnapped the whole time. And then she fucking dies. Like she gets the friggin' whatever his name kills her. Like the other guy, I don't know the actor's name, kills her. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's sure.
Peter Stormare.
Yeah.
I didn't know I forgot who killed her.
Yeah.
So fun thing though. I want to say it's the following year. Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare then reteamed to star in Armageddon together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
I forget the exact wording, but I did like how both like the escorts and then that one guy describes Steve Buscemi as like looking. He was kind of weird looking or whatever, strange looking.
He was funny looking.
Funny, but they couldn't describe him as anything other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I actually didn't dislike the movie. Like, it was weird. It wasn't, like, exciting, but I never found myself, like, going like, oh, this is just stupid. Like, I'm just like, these accents are funny. I'm laughing at the accents more than anything else. I also, it also didn't hold my full attention through every scene. Like, like, I definitely got distracted a few times, but I still followed the story, and, like, I'm like, okay, like, you know, for a 30-year-old movie, this was fine. Like,
I mean, I was falling asleep. I still followed the whole story. It just, none of it made sense.
Well, not all movies have to make sense.
I don't know. A movie like this kind of needs to make sense.
I mean, to be fair, also, like, I think it made sense to me. Like,
and none of it made sense to the way I was trying to process and understand it and figure it out.
I think one thing is, and I feel like Big Lebowski is also a bit this way. You're not supposed to make sense of everything in some of the Coen brother movies. Like, they intentionally obfuscate things from you, and you're just like, okay, wait, why? And you're just supposed to be left wanting to know.
That is definitely with the Big Lebowski. Like, that movie is, like, Rich, have you ever seen that movie?
No, I've never seen it.
I was torn between Big Lebowski and this, but I've seen Big Lebowski and I'd never seen Fargo, so. Big
Lebowski also isn't actually streaming on anything for free.
Okay, there's also that. I didn't even look into whether or not it was. So.
Oh, actually, no. That's one of the. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was actually when I was looking at movies I was going to pick. That was one of the ones I looked up. But it's only going to be on Peacock for 12 more days.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, so we could have done it for this one and it would have been fine, but it's cutting it a little close for the next one.
I mean, Fargo's only going to be on Amazon for like 10 more days as well. So.
Yeah, so odds are all these things are just because a bunch of stuff I looked up was like leaving different platforms in the next like 2 weeks. So I bet it's just a matter of like their streaming rights are being renegotiated, and some of them will pop up on like Max or Paramount or something next.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so but to Drew, to your point, like Big Lebowski is kind of like there are scenes that just like they just happen and they don't actually make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even
more
like basically the whole of the. I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've seen Big Lebowski, but I feel like basically the whole like start of him getting like confused. It's never really explained how he's confused for the other guy.
That's true. Yeah, just everyone confuses him for the other guy.
For the other Lebowski or whatever. But yeah,
and he's just upset about his rug because it really pulled the room together.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good movie. It turned an entire generation on the White Russians for some reason too. But anything else either you guys want to say about Fargo?
No.
Just that I would like to rewatch it when I'm not incredibly tired and slightly sick.
Yeah.
And see honestly, if I like it more.
It's short enough that like I thought it was good. Like the actors did a good job. It was weird. So as long as you don't like try and like overanalyze, like right. I think you can at least come out of it going like, yes, that was a well done movie. Even if the story doesn't make sense in a lot of places.
Mm.
Especially knowing that like you're used to the Coens at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Because those guys are weird.
It probably just means I probably don't and will never like any Coen brothers movies.
You probably won't. But then again, like some of the other ones, like they really don't do the same movie over and over again. Like while The Big Lebowski is also kind of like all over the place and like a little weird to follow, it does that in a different way than this movie. And like Big Lebowski is really about following the dude around and him trying to figure out like why people keep like accusing him of being somebody else. And it's got John Goodman in it, which is always a positive.
Hey, this one had William H. Macy in it. I was like, oh great, I love William H. Macy.
And he was great in it.
I feel like he was barely in it. He was supporting actor. He wasn't lead actor.
I mean, I feel like he was in it more than the cop lady who was like the top billed actor in it.
No, she was in it. She was definitely in it way more. It revolved more around her. Fucking, they had a whole scene with her meeting up somebody from high school that meant nothing to the whole fucking movie.
That's true.
Yeah, that is fair.
Like, it just, and then a whole scene explaining that scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't do this movie. I can't do it.
But so looking at the Big Lebowski, just to give you an idea, you've got Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi again, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Tara Reid, John Turturro, Sam Elliott, David Thewlis, who was Lupin in the Harry Potter movies, Peter Stormare, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
and Anthony Kiedis.
Is Kiedis in here?
Are they both? I know Flea's. I thought. Why was I thinking Kiedis was one of the other nihilists? But maybe I'm wrong.
There is another person in here whose name I just don't recognize. Torsten Voges.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see, is there anybody else worthy? No, that's about it. But like, that's a lot of people who either like already had pretty decent careers or like went on to have decent careers. Plus, and then Tara Reid, who knows what happened to her. But yeah, you might like that one, Rich.
Maybe.
But I guess we should see what our next thing is going to be. So it's my pick.
Yeah.
Would you guys rather watch an action movie or a comedy?
No, it makes no difference to me.
Rich, do you have a preference?
No, make your choice. It's your choice. You choose.
You know what? Let's do True Lies, just because I mentioned it earlier.
And you're all about the Schwarzenegger, man.
It was that or Mallrats.
I don't think I might have seen True Lies. I don't actually know. I've never seen True Lies. It was Total Recall that I've seen. I've never seen True Lies.
True Lies is a good one. It's also it's on Hulu. So
nice.
Cool. So in 2 weeks we'll do True Lies. All right, Rich. What is the Fossil College?
It's not the Fossil College. It's a fossil museum at a college. It is the Edelman
Fossil College.
It's the Edelman Fossil Museum. It's out near Rowan University in Washington Township area. And it is a fossil museum. That's exactly what it is. Apparently, this is something I did not know. New Jersey is a pretty hot spot for fossil. One major reason is because New Jersey, during the time of the dinosaurs, was underwater. And dinosaurs would die off the coast of what is now Pennsylvania, and they would float out to sea, and they would start to die, and their bones and body parts would sink to the bottom of the ocean. And so we are a hot spot of fossils. We have 2 dinosaurs discovered in New Jersey. One, the 3 of us all know, is called the hadrosaur. It was found in Haddonfield, named after Haddonfield. But it's like a duck-billed bipedal dinosaur.
Named after the place where Jason Voorhees is from.
Yes. Yeah, is he from Haddonfield?
No, I'm sorry. That's Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah. No, right.
Jason is Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah. Which is, as we know, is in Haddon Township.
Yeah. I wonder where is Camp Crystal? I think he actually is supposed to be from Jersey. Just North Jersey. I don't know, though.
I feel like it's supposed to be New York.
I don't know. You can look that up.
Oh, yeah, no. He was born in the small town of Crystal Lake, New Jersey.
Yeah, okay.
Which I feel like that's not a real place.
No, it's not. It's not. They probably took Crystal Lake area, like however the Crystal Lake Diner became the Crystal Lake Diner when it was that. Like they probably took that area or that name and just used Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh, actually, there might actually be a Crystal Lake, New Jersey.
So something I learned while here is Tyrannosaurus Rex. He is one of 12 known species of Tyrannosaurus. I didn't know that there were 12 species of Tyrannosaurus. I thought it was just the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I didn't realize the Rex was like a descriptor of the species. But there is a Tyrannosaurus species known as Dryptosaurus, which is a Tyrannosaurid, I guess because it's a little bit smaller. And it was founded in 1866 near Barnesboro, roughly about a mile away from the Edelman Fossil Museum in Mantua, New Jersey. So we have 2 dinosaurs discovered in New Jersey. The Dryptosaurus is like, it's, I guess you could look at it as a cross between a T-Rex and a raptor. It's got feathers on its arms and things like that, and it's tall, it's big, it's a really big raptor, I guess, or something like that. It's a really cool looking dinosaur that I never heard of before this past weekend. But the museum itself, one thing, it has a couple of things you can do. Each of them you have to pay to do. The first thing is you can go on a little bit of a fossil dig, and they have a quarry next to the museum that you can go down and you can dig up like fossils, and you can only dig so many fossils, and like you're not going to get like a big ass fucking bone or anything like that. It's going to be like little chips and pieces of things. But they say that everyone who does that always walks away with at least one fossil. Everyone who does it will always walk away with at least one fossil every time they do it. That is how high of a how high how high of a rate of fossils and whatnot there are. You occasionally will get like shark tooth and megalodon teeth. However, those are like the most rare, even though New Jersey was underwater. Those are like one of the more rare things to find, but it's generally like bits and pieces of different bones. Or both my brother and niece found fossilized poop.
Right?
Yeah. And so you can go do that, and like they teach you about like like it's deep under, like it's far down into this quarry. And they tell you it's like every step you take is like 4,000 years into the past or something like that, to get to like the general area of where you're digging. And they even have an active dig site there that the researchers go and dig up, and it was all because it was rainy and whatnot this weekend. It was all like covered up in tarps and stuff like that, so that the rain didn't mess anything. And it's an active site that they're currently like cataloging everything they find, and there's actually a display in the museum itself that you can go and they'll show you like all of the stuff they found in each quadrant of this active dig site. And it is one of very few spots in the world. It might have just been in New Jersey or in the United States, but it might have actually been in the world that is like has all of the proper features or all of the proper signs of like a good fossil dig. The right amount of I can't remember what the mineral was. It's I thought it was a more radioactive, like a lightly radioactive material. But like when an asteroid hits, it releases some sort of element. And so they can find the traces of that, the dust of that there, as well as a bunch of other different like indicators. And it's like one of not many spaces on the planet right now known that has all of these indicators and be like, this is where you should be digging for fossils. It was really cool to find out. I was like, that's really neat. Like something I never knew before. I didn't do the dig because I didn't feel like getting down on my hands and knees and digging it up, and I was just like, it's $25 to do that plus $20 to get, or $25 to get into the museum itself. And I was like, I don't really feel like doing both. So I just sat there and I watched and hung out. And then there's a museum portion where there's 2 floors to the museum. The top floor has just a bunch of different like displays of like statues of the different dinosaurs. That like it's got a statue of the Hadrosaur, got a statue of the Dryptosaurus. It's got other like longer statues, and then it shows like the bones that have been found in the quarry. And like the actual bones, they're not copies of the bones or anything. Like the actual bones that have been found in the quarry, you can go see them. And there's like one of I can't remember the name of the dinosaur, but it's a long, thin-nosed alligator. Like this, the nose of this alligator was like about as round as like a quarter.
I feel like there are alligators that have similar noses still.
But it was like 3 to 4 feet long.
So it was like real tiny.
No, the nose was 3 to 4 feet long. The rest of the alligator was huge. I don't know if
I guess like alligators are prehistoric, aren't they?
Yeah. They are I guess the second closest living thing, or the closest living things to dinosaurs left on this planet. Like any descendant of alligators and crocodiles, or alligators and crocodiles are like the closest descendants outside of like birds. and other lizards.
Are they closer than like sharks? I guess.
So sharks are not dinosaurs, and even like prehistoric sharks were like the sharks from the Jurassic period are not considered dinosaurs.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
something I also learned, and I can't fully like remember how it's explained, but to be considered a dinosaur, you have to be descendant of the original dinosaur. So pterodactyls are not a descendant of the original dinosaur; they are more descendants of large lizards. So they are not actually dinosaurs.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you have to trace it down to being a descendant of the dinosaur to be considered a dinosaur.
Fair.
It's got a lot of cool, informative things. It's very interactive. Like obviously, museums, especially fossil museums and stuff, they're made for educational purposes and for kid entertainment. So you get these little tags that you can like scan all over the place, and there's like little interactive things that you can do. You can go around the whole fossil area, and there's actually like hidden boxes that if you scan, you can then like play like a bit of a guessing game to figure out what each fossil. And there's like 12 fossils that you can find, and you can like learn what the fossils are, and then later on, like you can. There's like 3 levels of the game. One level is it telling you what the fossil is. Another level is you guessing what the fossil is based on 3. And the last level is you guessing what the fossil is based on all of them on the screen. And they don't get, like the other 2 will give you a picture of what it is. The last one, it'll just give you the name and the picture separate. And you have to pick the name out of like the list of names, I guess. I didn't really partake in that because it was incredibly busy. And that thing, it kind of was a pain in the ass because if you got it right, it would give you, say, 50 points, but it wouldn't move on to the next screen until your 50 points were given to you one by one. It was a rapid one by one, but it still had to count up 50 points.
Oh yeah, that seemed annoying.
Yeah, and you would have to do it a lot of times. There's a lot of kids there. There's a lot of things there. And so yeah, like the first room is just a bunch of different displays and like what dinosaurs looked like and the statues. And then the next room of like the main hall is like the quadrant based like what we've found so far down in the quarry, and there's like a little bit of like information about like that alligator nose that I was telling you about that they found, and a couple of other fossils, and then on the other side is a whole section about global warming and things like that. And then that's like the end of like the main structure, and then if you go downstairs, there's a whole area that is set up for like learning about like environmental erosion and like rocks and things like that. There is a display that they had on there which was really cool. It's a bunch of like balls that are just going through a machine, and it's showing you the likelihood that a fossil would be formed over the years, and how it's like over the course of the past year, so far this year, only like 300 fossils would have been formed over this time, and it averages probably about 1 every 3 to 4 hours. And it was just like this display of like balls going and dropping and like having to set the switches just to right so that it could get all the way down to the bottom. And like I was hanging out with my niece, telling her about it and like doing the math. I was like, we'd have to be here for another maybe hour before we could actually see it go all the way down, unfortunately. And she would watch it, and she was mesmerized. And it was cool. It was clicky clacky, so it was eye catching. But yeah, the whole room is like about like just earth and rock and things like that. And then they have another display room where it has like bigger fossils, and where the scientists are actually like cleaning off the fossils they find and cataloging things. And we went on a Sunday, so obviously no one was actually there working. And then they have a last room that they haven't quite finished yet. That's going to be a display of like different critters and animals, like bugs and things like that. And one of the workers had a millipede out, and she was showing it to everyone as they were walking in and talking to them about it. One of the displays is actually going to be like a rat cage that like the rats can climb up and then walk over top of everyone who's walking around the room, and then climb down onto another side of the cage. But yeah, it wasn't quite finished. It only just had a couple of things, because this museum, I don't know when it opened. according to 6ABC, it opened March 27th, the weekend of March 27th of this year.
That sounds right.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is brand new. And then there's like some sort of 3D adventure thing you can go into. None of us really wanted to do that because it's like, I hate to complain about it, but because it is a smaller museum, but it's a cash grab. It's $25 for the dig, $20 to $25 for the museum, and then another $20 to $25 for this VR thing that you can go into. So it's like it gets a little pricey if you do it all. I don't think there's any sort of like combo thing that you can get to do everything. But yeah, it was neat. It was fun. It was really cool. If you like dinosaurs and you live in the South Jersey area, especially like the general Camden / what county is south of Camden?
It's Gloucester.
Yeah, Camden, Gloucester, like southern, like Philly suburb counties. It'd be worth going. Like if you have to, as long as the drive is like less than an hour, it'd probably be worth going and hanging out. And then there's just a lot to do. All right, like it's in like Washington Township, which is decent stuff to do there. But yeah, and it honestly made me like think about like, hey, I kind of want to apply at this place and just work here because I just would love to like spend time at these places and learn more about dinosaurs and shit and be a worker at a museum. That'd be great. That'd be the dream, honestly, to work in a museum. But yeah, it was a really cool place, and it's pretty small. It's like a half a day tops, not even. And it's got some really cool displays and things like that. If you're somebody who's kid adverse, I would say maybe wait until summer's over and go midweek maybe just don't go on a holiday because I'm sure it was busier because it was a holiday as well. And it was like the whole dig site aspect of it was sold out for the whole day when we got there. You have to buy in advance, so you have to, and you get 2 hours to dig or something like that. Or you get an hour to dig, and they let like maybe 20 people down to dig. You get an hour, and whatever you dig up, you can bring back, or up to X amount of fossils. No matter, you can bring back any rocks you find. You can keep all the rocks you find, but fossils, like there isn't an upper limit to how many fossils they'll let you take home because it's like, all right, other people are going to need to find fossils, so I guess maybe they'll throw them back down, or I don't know. I don't know what they'll do.
Them. They absolutely rebury them. They probably get fossils from all over the place, right?
That's what I was thinking, because like if they're saying that it's like that high, you're that likely to find fossils that like everyone finds at least one fossil when they do the dig. Like they probably stage some as well, for sure. But like, I mean, the fossils might not necessarily be anything fancy. It's going to be fossilized poop. You're not going to find like a shark tooth or anything. Like you might not find a shark tooth. You might, who knows? But yeah, it is really cool. I honestly like if I wasn't going for Father's Day, like I kind of want to go back and I want to like try to vlog the place. I think it'd be really cool to like vlog and show off some of the displays and things like that, and show off this smaller little thing and a little bit of history of South Jersey that like not a lot of people know about.
Yeah, it seems like a cool thing.
Yeah, when people think Jersey, they think Jersey Shore, and it's like, well, none of those people were from Jersey, so maybe you should think dinosaurs. We discovered 2 dinosaurs here in South Jersey. Like maybe you should think dinosaurs,
or fruits and vegetables because we're the garden state.
Yeah, I mean it's and actually one of the displays actually talked about why tomatoes grow so well in New Jersey.
It's all the dinosaur fossil poop.
Well, it's because of all like the a mineral that was left here because of probably. Now I don't think necessarily because of the asteroid, but like there's a certain mineral that was left here because of the prehistoric times and the volcanic ash and stuff like that. It makes tomatoes grow very well, and that's why tomatoes are like it's very good in New Jersey. Jersey tomatoes are like sought after, if I remember correctly. I know people love Jersey tomatoes, and it's like that's because
they are a big deal.
Yeah, it's like something like that. There's a display that talks about it, and as you're walking down the quarry, there's actually like different displays of like, here's how far back you are in time, and here's what happened at this point, here's what happened at that point, and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. I would love to go back there sometime. Like I said, maybe try to vlog it or something. I wouldn't do it with for a family thing. But I just went back with like me and a friend or two and check it out. It'd be cool.
Nice. Maybe do the dig that time.
Yeah, maybe do the dig. Maybe like put all the money out and do all of the things that you can do, the dig and the VR and walk around. Like honestly, it at this point it would be keep my eye on it and wait for the that small room that was closed that wasn't finished to be finished.
And
Once
like
that's
go
done,
do everything.
yeah. But I'm sure like maybe they'll start to they'll expand more as they grow and get bigger and get more funding and whatnot. One of the there's also like nature trails that you can walk around the museum and the quarry, and there's also they have like a little playground set up outside, and it looks like a pteranodon, and it was like I was like that's amazing, that's cute, I love that. So like it'd be cool to like if it wasn't rainy and gross. I would have thought about, like, while they were doing the dig, walk the nature trail and see what that's like. But it was rainy and gross, and I didn't really feel like being outside.
For that, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you want to say about it?
No, it was really cool.
I have to sneeze. Hang on.
Bless you.
Okay, better. So what are we at? All right, so I started playing Wind Waker on the GameCube stuff for Switch 2.
Nice.
I mean, it's a 20-year-old game, so, you know, it's Wind Waker. There's not a much like game wise to talk about, but I just want to throw out there that it runs really well on the Switch too, and that game still looks really good for a game from 2002. Like the cell shading holds up significantly better than any of the like polygonal graphics do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go back and look at other like GameCube, PS1 era games that are just like your normal like polygons and stuff, and they look rough now.
Yeah.
This cell shading for did you just post a picture of the crocodile thing?
Yeah.
The cell shading and everything for Wind Waker looks fantastic. And I am 90% sure that this is not the remaster. Like this is the actual GameCube version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fact that the GameCube version actually still looks that good, like saying something. The controls do feel a little bit weird, I think, because the game is not meant for like a modern controller. Like the GameCube controller had the C stick, not like a full other analog stick, so like your camera movements weren't meant to be fluid. So trying to like maneuver the camera with an analog stick just feels a little clumsy.
Yeah.
And it what's the word I'm looking for? If you try to use the D-pad for things, like menuing, it doesn't always like work right. Again, because of the way the GameCube controller kind of like adapted to things with like the buttons it had. You have to use the analog stick a lot of times to actually like switch between things, but you can use the D-pad to like change the setting itself, or vice versa. Sometimes you can use the D-pad to move between like the couple different like menu options, but you can't do anything with it unless you use the analog stick. So, you know, just a little weirdness with it. Like you can tell that they don't do a lot to these games to get them playable.
Yeah.
And then something I noticed while I was launching it, and it's actually this for all three games, and I didn't really pay attention to it before. Every one of them has the US and the EU, like European version of the game for some reason.
Interesting.
There is, I double checked. There is no real discernible difference between Wind Waker for the US and Europe. It's just maybe some like translation differences. But the one funny thing is the European version, the cover art for it is like maybe like Game of the Year or something, because it has like the 10 out of 10 like review score on the front.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it's Wind Waker. It's cool. It is one of the Zelda games with, I think, like the cooler story. Mostly because like it actually kind of leans into the narrative more than a lot of the earlier games did. And leans into like the history of the narrative. Like like the opening bit literally is referencing Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it is, in my opinion, it is, even though I've never actually played through it all. I've never actually played it, really. I mostly watched Eric play it. It is one of the better Zelda games, or one of like the smoother Zelda games. It's got a really cool story, and like the whole end sequence is really cool as well. Finding out like what like the land is and everything is really cool. I enjoyed watching it played. I would love to play the game at some point.
Get a Switch too.
I mean, I actually have it on the Wii U, so
there you go. Break out the Wii U.
Yeah, no,
that is arguably the better version of it.
But yeah, I mean, if I want to Switch too. It's I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, look, they seem to be readily available, but I understand like they're not cheap.
Yeah,
like had I not like actually had the money set aside for it, like I wouldn't have just purchased it.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like they announced the release day. The time between announcement of release and release day was so short that I didn't have time to get the money together to be able to buy it.
Yeah, which is totally understandable. But at least like accessories seem to be impossible. But consoles, you can just walk into stores generally and get them. Yeah. Like I stopped at GameStop in Audubon today to see if they had cases. And like the guy even laughed. He's like, you'd think we'd have all the accessories and none of the consoles, but we have no I have 30 screen protectors. I could sell you 30 screen protectors. I don't have pro controllers and I don't have cases though. I don't think I didn't ask about the memory cards, the SD micro express or whatever you need for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is funny. Like Nintendo did a great job manufacturing the consoles, it seems, and like nobody was prepared for the accessories, whether like first party or third party. Like it doesn't seem like a lot of stores have even like the Nyko cases and stuff like that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what it is. But Wind Waker is fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna keep playing it probably off and on because I've played it before, so it's not like it's a new game. But I wanted to like play something a little different on it, and I decided to boot that up and see kind of how a GameCube game I actually have like a memory for played on it.
Yeah,
and it's pretty good.
So what are the other GameCube games that are on that one?
Soul Calibur 2 and the F-Zero GameCube game.
Right. Okay, yeah.
And like we talked last week, like I booted both of them up and played a little bit of each. I just knew Wind Waker was not a get into a game in the first 5 minutes. It like that game takes a little while to get going, so I hadn't started that yet.
Yeah,
but yeah, Wind Waker, it's a good time.
Nice.
And then the last thing is there was a Donkey Kong Bananza.
Yeah,
Donkey Kong Bananza Direct today that I didn't even realize was happening until it happened.
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
So it's 20 minutes, so it's not real long. That game actually looks really cool.
Yeah, when they first talked about Donkey Kong Bananza at the Switch 2 announcement, and they had stuff about Bananza, I wasn't really all too thrilled with DK's design. I honestly didn't think that was DK at first. I thought it might have been like his cousin or something like that. But yeah, like
he is oddly fuzzy.
Yeah, the more I see, like he looks younger, is what it is, and I see, like I saw earlier, like you got a younger Pauline.
Yeah.
So like maybe he is supposed to be younger. Like you have a child Pauline that he's with.
Here's the problem. And here's where just Nintendo doesn't give a fuck about like canon and storylines and all of that. In the gameplay that they were showing today, Diddy and Dixie Kong are there.
Okay.
Yeah. So this also ruins this ruins like everybody's like accepted canon that Donkey Kong from the original Donkey Kong was actually Cranky Kong.
Nope. Donkey Kong from the original Donkey Kong was Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and then so like the thing that like the accepted canon that like everyone just kind of agreed on and didn't care what Nintendo had to say was the original Donkey Kong was Cranky Kong. Donkey Kong Jr. from Donkey Kong 2 or whatever, he was the Donkey Kong that we then know from Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is not the case. But yeah, you get like it's a real weird setup. So you are on like the Donkey Kong world, but you're every level of the world is like literally a different level of like this like subterranean thing you're exploring.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like just going further into it as you go. But early on in the game, I guess you find like this talking rock geode thing, and it ends up turning into Pauline, but like a child Pauline.
Yeah.
And then she rides on your back the whole game. And it's got fully destructible environments for the most part. So you can just like roll up on mountains and just have Donkey Kong just obliterate them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can dig into the dirt. Like there's kind of like, I'm sure there are limitations to where you can do it, but the game was doing it all over the place, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Pauline is there to... She has an ability that you'll unlock at some point that will let you transform Donkey Kong. So there's 3 transformations they showed. One of them is just kind of like a hulked up Donkey Kong. With like full ass out. Like he turns into like a bear ass monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also turn into a zebra, like a hulked up zebra that can run really fast, including like across the water. And then the last transformation is a hulked up ostrich that can fly.
Yeah.
So that was weird, but like weird in like a cool way.
Is this the Mario Odyssey of the Switch 2?
Honestly, as I was watching all the gameplay, I'm like, this kind of reminds me of Mario Odyssey, like in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like it's doing a lot of like new stuff. Some of it's a little gimmicky, some of it's not, but yeah, it something about it just gave me kind of that feel.
It's like each world you can go in, there's a certain number of bananas and whatnot you can collect, and it's giving me strong like Odyssey vibes, like Mario 3D World vibes.
Yeah.
Or Mario 3D game vibes.
Yeah, no, like it really does have that. It has some like some of the levels will go side scrolling. There'll be puzzly levels. Like they really are kind of like pulling from like the 3D Mario book for this one versus like some of your more traditional Donkey Kongs that have released over the last few generations.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've never played Donkey Kong 64, so I don't really know how it all works. That is one game I've never played, so I don't know I don't know how to compare it to that.
I mean, like it looks drastically different from that. Like not just visually, like that you can just do a lot more. There's more going on. There's no character switching. Like in Donkey Kong 64, that game you had to keep changing between the different Kongs to like access areas and unlock abilities and all. This one you're just DK with Pauline, and you they have cosmetics in this game, but the cosmetics actually impact your character. So they show in the trailer, they put DK in like a watery blue fur color, and he can then like swim super fast. And he has like stats. Like there's actually like a skill tree for Donkey Kong. So like while it has some stuff like that I feel is similar to Odyssey, it's also doing stuff that like you're generally not going to get a skill tree in a Mario game. Like Mario has 2 skills, jump and pound.
Wonder had a skill tree kind of.
Yeah, but that's not a 3D Mario game.
Yeah,
because at the same time you could kind of argue about like the Mario Kingdom Battle games, whatever those were called, the Mario plus Rabbids games.
Yeah, but that's more that's
or Mario
not like,
RPG.
But like in the context of what we're talking about, like Wonder is closer than those two. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And then I was watching I watched the Giant Bomb like reaction of it, and they made a point that they're wondering if this game is going to tie into how New Donk City exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like this game ends with Donkey Kong and Pauline building New Donk City.
That'd be great. Oh, there's Cranky Kong.
Which like at least that would explain why it's called New Donk City.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it honestly, it looks really cool. And it comes out in a month.
I think that's the ultimate goal of my anniversary stream is to make $600 so I can buy a Switch 2.
Yeah. So actually, speaking of needing a Switch 2, they're doing some of the cool game share stuff that they had talked about with this one. Unfortunately, like in classic like Nintendo first party fashion, the 2-player mode for this is the second player can control Pauline in a way where she's still just on DK's back. She doesn't actually like move, but you can hit like buttons and shoot. She yells words that turn into like hard light objects and then hit things.
Okay.
And you can like scan objects in the world to then turn her words into those objects. So if you see like gold, you can scan it and then the words will be gold and will be like stronger.
That's cool.
It is cool. It's going to use the mouse feature of the Joy-Con.
So like that's not as cool, but at the same time if you're playing multiplayer, then you're going to be sitting together in a big space. So it makes a little bit more sense to use that.
So yeah, so the game will support either like Joy-Cons split between you on like a TV or something. Or like you can have like 2 different switches with you. But yeah, like for what her play mode is, assuming the mouse features work well, like it actually makes a little bit of sense because you do want that little bit of like mouse control where you can just kind of like target things as you like shoot at them essentially.
Yeah.
But they're doing the game share where you don't need 2 cartridges of the game for it to play on 2 different consoles.
Oh, okay. Right.
So, like, Rich, if you have a Switch 2, through the game chat feature, you could play as Pauline while I played Donkey Kong. From our houses. Like, we wouldn't have to be in the same room. It will also support the local share. On top of that, you can also share it to a Switch 1.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I don't think that one is over the internet. I think that has to be local. But, like, Erica still has her Switch 1. If she wanted to mess around with that mode, and I don't know how that's going to work as far as, like, the mouse controls go. I'm assuming you can play it with not, like, with just analog sticks, because that would be stupid otherwise.
Right.
Like, she can grab her Switch, and I can game share to her, and she can, like, shoot stuff as Pauline while I'm, like, running around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's kind of cool as a way to kind of, like, mess with a game without having to buy 2 $500 consoles.
Yeah.
Especially if, like, you don't need 2 of them. Like, it's not like there is a deep multiplayer to this game where we both need a copy of it. Like,
yeah.
If she wants to play it, she can just use the Switch 2 to play her own, like, file.
Yeah, she
but
can
we can
set
also
up her own profile and whatnot.
Yeah, but we can also kind of, like, mess around with, like, the 2-player without needing a second one. And I think that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember back in the DS, I want to say it was Tetris and maybe like the new Super Mario Brothers had those features where you could do the local share. You didn't, like, both people didn't need the game to, like, play, like, certain modes in, like, New Super Mario Brothers and certain modes in Tetris.
I know there was a ton of games on DS that had that. Like, there's a good number of games that I played that had the, like, share play. Everyone didn't need to have the console kind of thing.
Yeah, but, like, it's cool. I like that part. And, like,
yeah.
It's a cool, like, the game looks like it's going to be good. So, like, that's just one more thing that's like, okay, this is cool. Like I like what they're doing with this.
Yeah, I'm totally down for it. It's going to be a game I get when I get the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like, I was sold on the Switch 2 initially, and then Mario Kart, I was all for it. But this game, like, watching this direct as you've been talking about it, I'm like, yeah, this game looks really fun. It's got a lot of cool features to it. And like I said, like, I've never been a Donkey Kong Country person, but, like, I have liked the character Donkey Kong, so
like I like the old Donkey Kong countries, like 1, 2, and 3. Though I've played 1 the most. I haven't I played Donkey Kong 64 back on the 64, but have never, like, tried it in, like, modern times. And I don't have a lot like, I've definitely, like, played through some Tropical Freeze and stuff like that. So, like, I've played some of the more recent ones, but not, like, gotten into them a lot. Because they kind of just feel samey. Like, there's not a lot to them. And those games were still mostly those, like, kind of, like, side-scrollers.
Yeah.
But this one, like, being, like, this, like, 3D platformer, like, does just kind of... It looks different, and it looks like they did a really good job with it.
Yeah. For me, like, Donkey Kong Country never clicked with me, because, like, it feels like the collision's pretty rough and bad. And I just, like, when I try to play it, I just can't really get a feel for it, and it never really feels comfortable to me. And so I've never played Donkey Kong Country 2, never played Tropical Freeze. I wanted to do Tropical Freeze, because that was a Switch game, right? Yeah.
It was Wii U, I believe, and then they re-released it on Switch.
Yeah, so I wanted Tropical Freeze, because I'm like, maybe they might have corrected the collision, or the feel of the game, at least. But I never got around to playing it, because there's just too many games to play anymore. Too many games to play and not enough time to play them.
You're not wrong. Speaking of not enough time, I think that is probably going to be a show for this week.
I think so.
Drew, you have 0 voice left.
Yeah, it's been in and out all the last 3 days.
Yeah, like early, you said a few things earlier and it was mostly gone, but now it sounds like it's even more gone now.
Mm-hmm.
So go get some tea or something, or some hot water.
Yeah.
Don't talk for a day or 2.
Oh, we'll try.
But otherwise, if you would like to find some more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. You can find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And we are one-quest.com on Blue Sky. Our email address is social@one-quest.com. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. And then, Rich, what is your streaming?
Twitch.tv/B_1. It's for video game streaming, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. Real quick, before I get into what's coming up, a big thank you and shout out to anyone who came to my charity stream on Saturday that I joined with Dav and Beebs. I didn't get any donations during the stream. However, I did have one very generous donor donate the full $100 goal. So therefore, in the near future, I will be playing Slime Rancher, Slime Rancher, Romancevania, Date Everything, and Celeste in the near future.
Excited for Celeste.
I'm sure you are. I'm excited for Date Everything because, like, Brennan Lee Mulligan voices a set of board games, and I'm gonna date Brennan Lee Mulligan for sure.
That means nothing to me, but seeing you play Celeste, priceless.
Yeah. But, so thank you anyone who did that, and thank you to the anonymous donor who donated $100. I believe I know who you are, but you marked it anonymous, so obviously I'm not going to call you out on it, but I'll talk about that afterwards. My 4-year stream anniversary comes up on the 21st and 22nd of June, so a few days away. We are doing a Pokemon randomizer event. So you come, the more subs and bits that you send my way, will increase the total number of Pokemon I have to catch to fill my Pokédex. If I do not have any available Pokédex space based on subs, bits, and whatnot, then I cannot catch any Pokemon. If I do have available space, I have to attempt to catch every new Pokemon I come across until I fill up that Pokédex space. If I don't catch a Pokemon and it runs off, or if I run out of supplies, then I obviously can't catch it and have to leave the fight. So it's going to be that. You can come hang out. There's going to be channel point rewards for like a high balance reward to add more to the catch. This way, if somebody doesn't have the actual money to donate but still wants to participate, you can add to the numbers. Or I have one planned where I'm going to set up, and I can imitate any Pokemon, or I will attempt to imitate any Pokemon that you want me to imitate. Game sound, not anime sound. And then you can change my party. You can rename a Pokemon. You can force me to use Pokemon for a certain amount of time. But donations and bits and things like that, all, like I said, all going towards getting me a Switch 2. Will increase the number. If we reach, for every total 1,000 bits, chat will help me put together a Blue Sky post, and we'll post it on Blue Sky. For 5,000 bits, I will have a chat picks my build for Demon Souls. At 10,000 bits, we will do, I will play Cuphead. 20,000 bits and beyond, I don't actually remember, to be honest, so you'll have to come and check out the menu. Like I said, 21st and 22nd is when it starts. But every time I play Pokemon, the event is ongoing. So come hang out. Plus, all my other sub rewards and stuff are still active during this event. So if we reach 50 subs, 51 subs, I'll do a Super Mario 64 All-Stars run. If we reach 70 subs, I will get and play Medieval on the PS4, PS5 version, the remake version. If we get 80 subs, I'll play Majora's Mask, all that stuff. Still active.
So, question.
Yeah.
How many Pokemon does one sub get?
One sub or 150 bits is one Pokemon, I believe is what the number I chose. But it goes up from there. Let me get to my menu and I can discuss this further. So yeah, 150 bits or one sub is one Pokemon, or is one Pokemon. Every gifted sub is twice that. So if you gift me 5 subs, that's 10 Pokemon. Again, this event is built more around bits, but I did include subs with it. It's just I might rearrange that, and I might turn one sub into 2 Pokemon instead of one. Just because of
the sub is worth more than 150 bits, right? like money wise?
The sub costs more than 150 bits, and so 150 bits equals to roughly $1.50, and that's how much I would get is $1.50.
Right.
However, a sub I would get is about $2.50.
Oh,
So
I
it's
thought you
only
got
like
more out of it than that.
No, it's a sub is roughly $5-6, and I get half that.
Okay, I thought you got slightly more than that.
No. Yeah, you only get about $2.50 per sub. Let me just look at my analytics, and I can actually figure it out. Give me 1 second, and I'll pull it up. Subscriptions or revenue. So on the 24th, I got probably one sub, and I got $2.88. Yeah, got one sub, $2.88 for one sub, and then Prime subs are a little bit more, or a little bit less. A Prime sub is like $2.40 or something like that.
So I think the Prime sub is probably still weighted at the them upping the subscription cost.
Yeah, I don't really know.
So like 1,000 bits is about $10, right?
1,000 bits is about $10. Yes. So like the numbers seem like my stretch goals. So 20,000 bits is going to be a viewer's choice game. That's what I'm doing. So if we do 20,000 bits, which is about $200, I will do like have people pick games for me, and we'll do a poll to see a game for me to play. If we get 30,000 bits, I will do a subathon starting at 12 hours. Usually if you do a subathon, you start it at like 3 hours and then go up from there. No, minimum 12-hour subathon. So basically, if we don't get any additional, like, yes, if you guys give me $300, I'm going to ask for more money, yes, but I'm starting at a 12-hour stream and can go up to 24 hours. 40,000 bits, I'll do a 420 stream. And 50,000 bits and beyond, I will put together an actual Pokemon cosplay. Not a Pokemon character cosplay, a Pokemon cosplay. But this is also, unlike last year, all the stretch goals are based on bits. The stretch goals this year are like both bits and subs, because I know some people would rather sub than do bits, and some people don't really like doing bits. So if we get $50 worth of subs, then I'll unlock the chat builds Demon Souls. So if we get 25 subs, I'll unlock the chat builds Demon Souls. Or if we get 20 subs and enough bits to equal out to the rest, 10 and 1,000 bits, I'll be like, all right, that's a chat builds Demon Souls kind of.
Okay, that makes sense. And so when you say 10,000 bits for Cuphead, how much Cuphead?
All of it. I'll be Cuphead.
You'll
Game.
Beat Cuphead.
Not DLC. Base game.
Okay.
Yeah, not DLC.
So Drew, we need to find people to give him $100.
Okay.
I mean, look, the 10,000 bit marker is always the torture marker for me. Like last year it was play the worst game ever. This year it's Cuphead.
It's going to take you another year to play it.
No, I'm more interested in playing Cuphead than I ever was interested in replaying Mega Man X8.
I mean, yeah.
And Cuphead isn't as much of a like platformer as it is just a boss rush game. It's just every level is a different boss, really.
Yeah, because I would say skip all the platforming levels because they don't do anything for the game.
Yeah, you don't have
We're
to do
added because people complained that they were just boss rushes, and then everyone's just like, oh no, these boss rushes are great.
Yeah. So the only stretch goal that does not have a bit/sub connection is the post on Blue Sky, chat posts on Blue Sky. That one is bits only, because it's just, it's 1,000 bits, so it's every $10 that you guys give me in bits. And yeah, so that's where like I try to sort of justify like some of these prices, because A, it's supposed to be a challenge for you guys, B, it's supposed to be a challenge for me and to help me. So like, really, 50,000 bits, it's 50 people give me $10 each. I have 600 and something followers. 50 people giving me $10 a piece. It's not that much. That's not that much.
Yeah.
Last year I was asking for 1,000 bits or 100,000 bits for my highest tier reward. This year I brought it down a bit.
How many Pokemon are in
500 and change?
Okay.
580?
Okay, so almost 600.
Yeah, something like that. I don't really know. But yeah, so It's gonna be fun. I have a lot of different things planned. I set up the Pokemon community chat game so you can catch Pokemon through my chat. Somebody bought me stream avatars, so I'm setting that up, and you'll be represented by a Pokemon that you'll be able to set up which Pokemon you want to be represented by while playing on the bottom of my screen while we're playing this game. I'll have it, and I'll keep stream avatars set up occasionally after the Pokemon event, but like it depends on the game because it's actually its own like Steam game that you have to have and have running while to use it. And I'm like, I can't play Monster Hunter with that. I can't use stream avatars at Monster Hunter.
Oh, hey, real quick, I didn't notice before. You should fix your event on your Discord.
Why?
Because you have it starting at midnight on Saturday.
I can't. Maybe I can. Do I have it? Hold on. Let me see.
You have it Saturday, June 21st at 12 a.m. through Sunday, June 22nd at 10 p.m. I don't think you're playing for more than 24 hours.
Fucking time zone shit. Time shit.
So are you starting at noon on Saturday?
No, I'm starting around 10ish because Chase has a grooming appointment on Saturday as well, so I'm gonna have to step away for a while. So I was gonna originally start at noonish, but because I have to step away for upwards of a half hour twice, I want to start early so I can get some decent time in before having to step away. And then I'll have there's this thing called Words on Stream that is an anagram game that you can play through my chat. So you'll be able to play that while I'm away from my desk, cool. Bringing the dog to and from the groomer.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
We have potentially a ton going on Saturday with checking houses and stuff, but I'm going to try and pop in at least a couple times throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. If you think of it, because I'm bad at paying attention to the Discord alerts, shoot me a message on Facebook or something and remind me that you're starting.
Yep.
Because
I'll try to.
Yeah. I'm far more likely to catch that than a tag on Discord.
Yeah, I'll try to remember. It'll be posted on all my socials and whatnot. So we'll see how this. I'm hoping. I don't know. I'll be honest. I was feeling a little down on myself because the charity event, even though it was very last minute planned, and I honestly did feel bad because I was asking for money so many weeks in a row. And everything just happened to happen all at once. I think we talked about this a little bit last week. I wasn't expecting my sub push from back in April to get as big as it did. And so, I've been man, I've been asking for a lot of money from people lately. And, I feel bad about it a little bit. But it's it was a charity event. It was last minute. But, I was feeling a little down on this event for this weekend because, no one donated. And then somebody donated the full 100. I was well, great. Now I have to play Celeste, and I didn't think I was gonna reach the full $100.
Yeah, and honestly,
I picked Celeste.
I actually forgot you were doing that on Saturday because we had so much going on. I meant to tune in and see what you were playing, and just never got a chance to.
Yeah. But it was a good time. It was a good time. We have I think I won at least one round as the bad guy, maybe twice. But I know I died 2 out of 3 times as the villain. Or as the imposter, and we had 2 imposters. I can't remember I think the first one we lost, the second one I might have won, and the third one I know we won. Well, so yeah, it was a good time.
We started the outro 15 minutes ago, so
yeah, it happens.
I think it's officially time to wrap it up because also the dogs just came up because it's time for chews and they're going to get obnoxious in a second. So yeah. Again, Rich has his stream stuff starting on Saturday. Go check that out. What's your channel?
Twitch.tv/B_walnuts.
And we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you guys.